So what it is never one thing, but when criticizing the problems that can bear out on a theological mind, what is sort of a cornerstone Principalian phenomenology of the theology is what they're concentrating on the most. And so my refinement of my charge that given that these two men's age and how much they should know better, it would take something like Gary Cairns passing his own children over to Roger for Roger to fuck them in order to excuse their stupidity and their criminal activity to this point in time. He'd have to be swapping, not maybe they were themselves preparing to make jokes about wives swapping with in order to get away from the Hey Jude reference being about Gary Cairns calling his wife Judy Jude, because while claiming that it was a cleverly devised respect demonstration for bisexual rights movement and not a fuck up, because he thought that somehow the Beatles were singing to a woman also named Jude. They'd have to be swapping kids and Gary palming his kids off to Roger for Roger to fuck them. I think of Roger as someone who, as far as his hatred of Christianity goes, with Moses, and Moses being a lawgiver and him struggling to hand down rules that get respected or to get his company advertised by every network in Australia, and for him to be, the maker of rules. And yet Moses was the maker of rules. And so he traces Moses back to his historical origins and finds that he was placed in a reed basket and sent down a river to get adopted. And then that makes Roger Toll pissed off because he's got no kids and Gary Cairns isn't giving him his kids to have either orally or anally. So he imagines that it would help him in the struggle for evolutionary success, being all about survival of the fittest and the weak being demolished. It makes absolute sense to him that he would have 4 penetrative access points to the infantile Moses if he could only get him out of that reed basket. He could scoff off in the tone of his unbroken prepubescent Tasmanian mother fingering voice all he'd liked if he as he fucked the infant of Moses in the left and right ear canals, the anus and the mouth. And then by all rights, according to him, in accordance with his latest study of evolutionary biology that he did in 1952, he would then take over Moses' role as the new lawmaker and hand down stone tablets, the likes of which no one would ever dare stand up against or repudiate, lest they take on the whole of capital Camus happy 40th anniversary, you homos.